go over just a little bit of stuff in Command. Gabe asked me about that. Kind of just to show you guys. Sorry, I'm a little fat all over the place here. Let's go that strong way. So how many of you use Command, log into Command? Do it? Yeah? Okay. It's an amazing tool. If you use it, it can keep everything organized for you. All your transactions, all your good stuff in there. I'm going to go into just one section of it today, and then I'm going to hop over to CAR, which is like where all of our documents are, and go over some stuff in there. Okay, so this is like interactive. You guys jump in. If you have questions, if there's something you're struggling with that you're like, hey, I have a question about this in CAR or whatever, let me know, okay? So when you log into Command, this is what it looks like. Hopefully you don't have like past due tasks like me, but usually you do because you don't get to it or whatever. But there's all kinds of systems you can set up in Command to make notes for yourself, to reach out to a client, a lead, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to get into all of those today, but that's why I have these tasks in here. But you can create tasks to reach out. You guys have an active hot lead, like put notes in here, and it will notify you. It's going to send you little notifications up here. And so that is just a cool thing. I have all my clients on like birthday drips. So I'll like reach out to them via text, it'll remind me, and then I'll reach out and say, hey, happy birthday or whatever. It lets me know in Command. If I use this at like full capacity, I don't as much anymore because I'm TCing, so it's different. But when I was actively in it, like there's a lot of things you can do in here. But biggest thing is Sophia and Gabe, Aurora now are another PC coach. They really want you guys to understand that when you get a transaction and you start working with someone to create an opportunity. So the opportunities is this little handshaking person right here. So you would click that.
Oh, just for my account.
Okay.
Yes. I'll take it too. Are you using the screen on this side?
Yeah, maybe. It's over. Oh no, it was on there. Yeah, maybe sit over here. It's just easier. It's gonna be slow. So that little handshaking thing is your opportunities, and I have a bunch of some templates in there. So don't mind like my stuff up here. I have coaching stuff and I have Market Center, but yours should just have your name. So like just have your name at the top. And so when you click on, when you're in your listings and buyers, you can create all their information on an opportunity. So when you get a client that you're going to either start showing houses to or doing a listing agreement, create an opportunity right away. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what that looks like and how you do it. So you hit create opportunity.
Like a test.
Type it out. But when you click create opportunity, it's going to walk you through all these steps of putting their information in. So it's going to have your Market Center. If you're on a team, I had my PC team on there, so it pops up, and you don't have to put that. You can just leave it. Opportunity type is going to be whatever it is. So listing, buyer, landlord, tenant. So even tenants, if you have a lease, put it in here. Same thing. So we're going to do a listing just today, and then owner is me. And then the client is going to be their name. So if you've already put them in your database, they'll automatically pop up. But if they are not in your database, I'm going to use my son today. So Jonathan Copeland is not going to be in my database, but it's going to let me add him. So add new contact, click him. I'm not used to doing this on iPad, so bear with me if I'm not working. I don't know if it's syncing or if it's adding him or what it's doing. Alright, let's just put someone else that I have in here. It should let you click on add a new contact and it will pop up. For some reason the iPad's not letting me. but it will, like on your computer or hopefully your iPad. Okay, so now it pops up, or actually maybe it already did add him in, huh? Okay, let's see. It's so small on here. Either way, add your client in, their name will pop up, okay? And then it will say listing opportunity name. So on this section, this is how it's gonna pop up in your command. So if it's a listing, you wanna put the address. So I'm just gonna put our market center address. If it's a buyer, just have their name, because you don't have an address for them yet. But if it's a listing, do it that way, because when I go to check the file in command, I search by the address. I try to, it's easier, because there's so many people, all the agent stuff is in command. All the agent stuff is in command, and so, so let me put in the address here.
Is the camera?
Is that one working? I don't know. Sorry. You're fine. Okay. Okay, and then custom tags are if you've set up anything in your command, such as like, this is a hot lead. A lot of agents do like hot leads, referral, previous client, family member, whatever they are, you can create tags. So when you go to set them up in your database, there's tags for them. So you can look up your clients by certain things. So you can create a tag for anything. A lot of agents will do like work, like people. So, okay, this is my husband's work. So I have all these contacts connected to them. Your family, your sphere, whatever you want to do. You don't have to put anything here, but you can create tons of tags in command. And then you can send out smart plans based off those tags. So there's like all these tangents I could go off of what you can do, but that's what that would mean. If you want to put a tag to them, you can always add a tag later to that specific contact if you want to. Okay, and then the next section is going to be the estimated close date. So if you know the date that you're going to close, you would put that in. If you don't, it's okay. The only thing it's going to make you put is the things that have little stars. It's not going to make you put all of this information in, but put as much as you know. Time frame, if you know that you're going to have a 6-month listing, you can do 6 months. The estimated listing price, we'll just say is $500. You can always change it. Your commission is going to be what you're getting for commission. So if it's 3%, not the total commission of the listing. So if you're giving like 3%, you're taking 3%, giving 2% to the buyer, don't put that in here. Put only 3%, because that's what you're getting paid off of. Okay? If you know the buyer, so agents always ask for buyers, what should they put? Just put 2 to start, because most likely it's going to be 2, 2.5 if you're the buyer's agent. So just put that. We can always change it later, and I'll show you when we do the commission section. But if you know on your listing, put the correct amount in there. Okay, and then opportunity phase is going to be cultivating, appointment, or active. So cultivating is like if you're still trying to get that person to sign a contract with you, they'd be cultivated. If you got an appointment, you can click appointment. If you have an active listing with them, it's going to be active. It's an active buyer, it's going to be active. But if you're still like kind of working with this buyer, you guys haven't maybe went out and showed houses yet, maybe you're setting an appointment, you can change it to appointment. Usually, if you're coming in here and setting up an opportunity right away because you're working with someone, do it at cultivate because you're still working with them, and then switch it over to active once you get them actively into escrow.
So it's kind of like pending, basically.
Yeah, basically. Like for a buyer for a listing, it's different because a listing you might just have an appointment already, or you might still be trying to get that listing. So you want to have that opportunity in there to kind of go back and reach out to that person. You should be reaching out to that person every week, or more, because you're trying to get, are you guys still wanting to sell? Like what's going on, So I'm just gonna put active right now. And then opportunity stage, staging, showing, or negotiation. So if you're an active on a listing, are you guys in this, like staging it? That's probably not likely for most people. So I would just put showing. We're active and we're showing it.
My options were different.
What'd you pick for the opportunity phase?
That's
Appointment. So if you pick appointment, it's going to be different. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's gonna give you different options for each opportunity phase. Cultivate's gonna give you
Oh, look at that.
watch, nurture, hot.
Also it'll change basically.
Based off what you. So I'm gonna still go back to active because that's usually when these get put into command. Showing and then create. And it's gonna create. Slow.
Good, good, good.
Hi,
Hello,
come on in.
thank you.
Okay. Either way, yeah, it's no. Okay, so once you hit create, I don't know why the iPad's being so touchy with me today. It's just slow. So once you do that, it's going to take you into the opportunity. So I'm just going to go to one that I've already had in here. And that was lovely. I don't want to go to his. I guess I will. I'll just go to his. So once you hit create opportunity, this screen's going to pop up. Okay? So this is what this screen looks like. And there's all kinds of tabs in here that you can go to. The ones we're going to look at today is offers and commissions, because I really want you guys to understand what this means. So as a TC, I would do this for you if I'm using it as your TC. But it's important for you guys to know because a lot of times on new builds, you don't want to hire a TC to do it for you. And if you use like another TC, they might not do it for you. I do it for my clients for free, and I'll do your new builds. But if you just want to do it yourself, it's super simple. You create the opportunity, you do the offers and commissions tab, and you upload one document on a new build. So simple. And so I know that's like take away business from other people or whatever, but you can do it yourself. You know, don't pay $100, $150 if you don't need to. You can do it yourself. And this is just important to know because it talks about your commission. And we go through this process, and Jocelyn does the disbursement authorization for us. She has to have this section filled out or she cannot cut checks. Like, end of story, can't do it. So it's just important as agents that you guys know how the system works and how the process works for us. So you create this opportunity, you have this client, you guys open escrow, it's gonna have all your information in here. So like this client I had, it was a land contract. It has this information, the property information in here, all these little pencils, you can update information in. So just remember that's how you update. And then you can put in a bunch of different things in here, all these dates, the commission, you can update all these little boxes under the details section. Okay, so that's where all the information is. Under marketing, you can do a bunch of marketing stuff. I haven't even messed around with all that, but there's a bunch of designs and all kinds of stuff you guys can do in here to market your listings right from command. So definitely check those things out. It'll give you like designs, like these are recommended.
I don't have marketing.
Oh, wait, what?
You guys don't have marketing?
No, I didn't, well, how did you get them?
So details, so right here.
Details.
Do you guys have marketing on yours?
Yeah, it's right, for me, it's right next over to where.
Right next to details.
Mine
No?
documents.
Mine says documents.
I don't have that one. I
It
have
doesn't?
For commission notes, timeline.
Oh, that's weird.
Is it a setting tool or maybe other?
Do you guys have it? Are you not in it? You do?
I don't need it.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a version.
Do you guys have it? Go to your name. And then just go to this one right here. And then just click that person.
The name?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you only have documents too.
Otherwise, it would give you ideas to market.
Yeah. I wonder why your guys' commands don't have marketing. That's weird. Does yours have marketing? Who else is logged
I think
in?
it's in the settings, maybe?
Possibly, but I know it's newer. The tab is newer. So I'm wondering if it's only,
So if you go to settings, there's a marketing profile. Oh, no, that's for us.
yeah, go to your opportunities. I just want to see. I'll find out why you guys don't have it. Because this is newer and it just came, this is why. Recommend phase, you need to be active, probably, is why. That's why. So if you did like appointment or cultivate, it's not gonna show you ideas yet until you get to that phase, based off of where you're at,
Oh, okay.
which is really cool. Kirsten knows all about the marketing stuff. I don't do any of those things. I work in documents and offers and commissions, and that's it. So, but it's a really cool thing where it shows you, how to do it, how to mark it out and do ads or whatever. So definitely take advantage of that, or Kirsten's teaching a class on it. That would be awesome. Okay. And then documents. This is where all your documents go in. So like if I return someone's file, like this one's returned, there's missing things. So you have to have those back or get those documents uploaded. Your TC will do that. But this document section is where all your stuff is in command, all the compliance documents. You don't have to know how to put them in and do all that if you have a TC. I just want you guys to know where that is. So you understand like what's happening. You get an email that says it's returned. What's returned? You guys can go look as well. If say your TC wasn't available or whatever. Okay, so that's this section in documents, and then offers and commissions.
Is this where we set in documents, so you get started transaction, you can upload your RPA or ROA, you can start uploading stuff?
Yes, but your TC will do that for you. So you don't need to do all that when you start. You just need to send it to them via email, and then they can upload it in the community. You don't have to do it. I just want you guys to know where it is, because a lot of agents just don't even know. They're like, I don't know where all the documents are. Or like, in the closing section, so like let me take you back. So in the closing section, this one's not all finished, but in the closing section where it says closing statement right here, and the file should be here. Say you guys were a lot of agents every year reach out to their past clients and they say, hey, it's tax season, you bought a house last year, you sold a house last year, here's your final closing statement. You're gonna need that for your CPA. They got a copy. Like, they should have from escrow, but it's a reach. Hey, I'm reaching out and I'm giving you an important document because who knows if they know where any of this, and then they're searching for it. And it's a way to reach out to them. So agents will do that every year, and all they have to do is go into their command transactions for that year and pull them out. Super simple. Okay? So just so you guys know where their documents are at, it just is helpful. All right, so for offers and commissions, this is where you're gonna do all your commission stuff. This one's already been imported because it was already done, but I'm gonna just show you how you add an offer in on the offers and commissions tab. So you go to add a new offer and you put in all the offer details. So for Jocelyn to cut your check, she has to know what the offer looks like and all the offer details. And the offer, I'm just gonna put in numbers, offer date, close date, and then you put in all the parties. So buyer, seller, I'm just gonna put in. And all you have to do is put each associate's information and buyer and seller. That's it. Okay. And then the terms are gonna be what the terms of that offer were. So if it was all cash, you put in the cash amount in cash. If it was finance, you can put in the finance amount and the total sales price. What I do, sometimes they just are like, oh, they're putting down this much cash and this much finance. Just do one or the other. So if it's all cash, just put cash. If it's finance, just put the total finance amount. It doesn't matter. Like you don't need to know how much cash they actually brought in, if it's 20% down or whatever. We don't care about that. We just want to know the price. That's our main concern. So let's do 400. And then whatever their percentage amount was, so say it was 1%, that's what their deposit was, you put that in there. Option fees are not something really we do in our state or termination options, so you don't have to worry about that. If there was any closing costs, seller will contribute blank to the contract. Seller will contribute blank to settlement costs. So say seller was gonna pay $10,000 in closing costs, you can enter that here. That was part of your guys' original contract. You put that amount in here.
That's like a credit or?
Yeah, like the closing cost credit. If the seller was gonna pay that to the buyer. Okay? And then you click agent analysis. This little section gives you, you can use this tool like if you have multiple offers. So say you got 4 offers on your listing, you can do the pros and cons of each offer. Most agents don't do that. They put in the one offer they took, which is fine. You don't have to put it. It just Command gives you that option to like break it down. If you really use Command to full capacity, it'll like break down the pros and cons of each of your offers. Yeah.
What does TC stand for?
Transaction coordinator. Yeah. So when you get a deal, if you want the someone to do all of the paperwork for you, all the disclosures, all the contracts, you would hire a transaction coordinator. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can do all that yourself. But it's just a way to leverage, so you're not doing all those things. You're out there getting more business. Okay? Okay, so I don't do any pros and cons in here. I just hit save, and now it's all saved in here for me.
But if you wanted to use this, you would hit save, and then would it bring enough, like say you have 3 offers, can you put in 3?
Yes. So then you can just hit add a new offer, and then do the whole process again. Yep.
Oh, they're individually added?
Mm-hmm.
Is it nice where you could like print it for your client too? Like
I believe so. I've never entered them in here, but Command like wants you to kind of, plus you can, if you use Command more than like your car forms, you could go back and look here and go, we have all these offers. Like it's saved.
Yeah.
And then in the document section, you could create a folder. Like in the document section, there's a create a custom folder, add a new custom folder, and you can put all your contracts in there. Every offer you got. Because you really should keep all that stuff. It doesn't happen. We get multiple offers and then they're just in our email abyss somewhere, but it's a way to keep you super organized. Sophia and Ben use a Google Drive, so they don't use Command this way, but it's the same kind of thing. They have a Google Drive with each file they do, and so if they get multiple offers, they put every single offer in that file. So it's saved. Any cancellations, like if we had a cancellation on the escrow, that should be saved.
It'd be nice, it would just, for like your presentation.
Yeah.
you know, 5 offers.
I
So
think
present your
you
client
can print it. There probably is a way. I'll look into it and see if I
So you don't have
can.
to do like an Excel spreadsheet. It's just
Yeah.
right here, you know?
Exactly. No, it is. And that's what the functionality of it is meant to do that is, is to do the pros and cons, Okay. So, it's not gonna let me manage the commission, huh?
What's the, you get generate transaction summary?
It might, or generate transaction summary, possibly.
Maybe that
Let's
will
see.
put it all
That's
in.
on my end. No, it just tells you like, and it's not gonna let me go to the next screen because I already imported this offer. I need to do another opportunity. Wish it would let me create it. Let me see if it'll let me. I wish I could share my computer screen to this. It's not letting me enter a new client to create a new opportunity. Since that one that's in there is already created and imported to her computer, like it won't let me get to the last step.
Either you create a new one.
I'm trying to create a new one. No, I thought it would let me with a new offer, but it's still not.
So then we can add an individual.
No, you can. It's just because that commission was already imported to Jocelyn. She already took it from Command. So once it says imported, you can't change anything. So. Let's see if I can go to a different opportunity I had that didn't. Okay, this one's gonna let me. Okay, so after you input the offer, it's gonna pop up this little thing that says manage commission, and that's where you do all your commission stuff, okay? So you just have to double check everything. So this one I did, the sales price was $400, commission rate was 2, so the commission's $8,000, and then you have to put in the contract date. Anything that's like red, you have to input. And then down here, it breaks down all your commission. So like most agents are on for 70-30 split. If you're in PC, it's gonna look different. So it breaks down, like mine's different. And so it breaks it all down here for you. It shows you your royalty, what you're paying out for to the office, royalty, all that. Okay, so like for instance, this one, I have to pay 6% to royalty, which goes to KW International. And then down here, this is my office split. That's what I have to pay to the company, to here. So that's a confusing thing. Sometimes new agents are like, why am I paying 6%? Where's that going? And where's the other 30% going? 30% is going here, and the 6% goes to KW International. We don't see any of that here. And that's your $3,000 cap. So when you have the $3,000 cap, meet that. So like 480 is now going towards my $3,000 cap. And then the 1,600 is going towards my $22,000 cap.
That's yearly?
Yes, and it's based off your yearly thing. Okay? So then down here, it'll break down anything else you want to add in. Okay? Jocelyn will charge you. This is, comes up a lot for new agents. It's always on your first transaction, so be prepared. You probably just got charged it, you know. 500, Charlene just got charged it. It's 500 every calendar year. You don't pay it unless you close a deal. So the office will pay it, and you're still covered if you're working with a buyer or seller and something happens. But your very first transaction, you're going to get charged that $500 E&O, and then it goes for that your year. You're good for a year. Okay. So that item deducting here is a TC. Jocelyn will fix that because she knows it. You guys know it. I don't know. You usually don't know until it comes out on the DA. And what a DA is it's called a disbursement authorization. We have to have that to send to escrow. And then escrow gets that breakdown of how to cut the checks. So the DA is really important when it comes to your email to approve it and say, this looks good to me. Because the escrow is going to cut your checks and they're not going to cut them again. They hate us when we come back to them and try to cut them again. Not Amy, she'll redo them because she's right here. But if you have to like go back to the another escrow, you're going to be getting not paid like for a while because then they have to cut them again and send them again and void the checks and blah blah blah. You know, so you just want to make sure everything's correct when she sends the DA to you. And the only way she can send the DA is if we submit this to her. So if this looks good and you're like, okay, that's my split, everything like that. If you're in PC, she's gonna add the PC fee in on the DA. I've been trying to do it through commands for the agents so they know. So what I'll do is you can do edit payment information or agent information. And you can come down here and add an item and a deduction. And you can put who you're paying that deduction to. So for instance, like if you're in PC and you're paying 10%, you know it's gonna be $400, right? Off of, or no, $800 off of that 8,000. So I would put 800 here, and that goes to Gabe or Aurora, whoever your coach is. And I try to make it as, like, I try to make it so you guys see this, and you're like, oh, that's what I got paid. That's what I got paid, and it matches. We wanna try to have command match as best as possible to what the DAs say. So I am trying to do that now. Gabe and I just talked about that, Aurora. We're putting that in here in commands from now on. The other fee that would go in here is a TC fee. So if you're paying TC fee out of your commission, it goes as a deduction in here. If your client's paying it, it does not go in here, ever. Your client's paying it from their proceeds, okay?
So that goes in the escrow?
Yes, it'll just be on their escrow sheet of their closing costs. So we don't have to put it in here. This is only what you're paying out of your commission only, is what goes in here.
So we can manually add in your fee.
Yes,
And then if you do KW Cares, is that tax deductible for us? Like if say I'm gonna do $50 each check or whatever.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. And then referrals is another thing. So if you're paying, say someone gave you a deal and you have to pay 25% out on a referral, yes.
How do you determine who pays for the TC?
It's up to you. So a lot of agents charge their clients. If you're gonna charge your client, you need to put it on the RPA, the residential purchase agreement, on the offer, and like other terms, anywhere, as long as it's on there as a closing cost to them. If you don't put it on there, we can still do it. Like you're like, oh, I forgot to put it on the contract. Like, can you still charge them? I can do an addendum, or I can do an invoice and send it to escrow, but it doesn't always get caught. Like, because what happens when you open escrow, your buyer has to start their loan process. And what happens is the lender reaches out to escrow and they say, what are all their closing costs? And in between that, those like couple days, if we don't catch that TC fee, now they already disclosed to the lender all the fees and they're like, it's too late. We already disclosed to the buyer, these are their fees. You can't add a fee on them. And it happens. It's happened a couple times to me where I'm like, well, I'm not getting paid now because I missed it. You know, I missed their contract or whatever. But then the agent's like, no, it's fine. I didn't write it on the contract. It's my fault. I didn't write it on the contract. And I'm like, it's just those first couple days of escrow are hectic. And so it just sometimes gets missed. And then escrow is usually pretty good about asking who's paying the TC fee because they know it comes up a lot. But some escrows don't. Like outside escrows, Amy will come across and ask me, who's paying the TC fee? She knows like to ask. But other escrows, they don't know. And so I just had one where she's like, it wasn't disclosed on the contract. The agent didn't put it. The agent has to pay it. And she was like very adamant about, nope, agent has to pay it. I'm like, I don't want to pay it. They want to charge her better. Like, she's all too bad. I'm like, okay.
Where does it go on the RPA?
Just like in a closing cost section. When I go in a car, I'll show you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll show you guys. Yeah.
How would you go about asking the buyer that you want them to pay for the TC?
TCV. So, yeah, so do you want to share, Myra? How would you handle that question?
Who, me?
Yes, no. Manny, how do you handle that question?
Most people don't ask. So the way I pull it off, I just say, hey, just to keep all the documentation up to compliance, I have a third party member take care of all the documentation throughout the whole transaction, and her fee is $500 or whatever it is. And then they're usually cool with it. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Is that considered a junk fee in
Yeah.
California though?
So,
No.
Because remember they.
The only ones that cannot pay it, FYI, everybody is VA buyers, because it's
VA.
considered a non-allowable.
mhm.
There's a lot of like non-allowable.
And there is a rule coming out this year, probably the same time as all the NAR stuff, so I have to get on top of it, that they are considering it a junk fee. And so if it is not disclosed from the get-go, you cannot charge it. Like, it won't be like, I can just try to add it later with escrow, and that's why that escrow was so adamant about it with me. She's all, it was not on the contract from the beginning, too late.
So as long as it's on the contract, it will be paid.
Yes, because on the contract, when you're going over that with your buyer, and I'm gonna get on CAR in a second and go over that, it shows on all their fees. You're paying title, you're paying escrow, you're paying all these things, buyer. This is another fee you're paying. So to them, it's like, oh, it's just another fee I'm paying,
Yeah.
you know? And they know they're paying all these closing costs. It's a closing cost to you.
That's what
When we try to add it on later and send them, like, I've sent TC invoices, like with the disclosures for them to sign, and it gets questioned. What's this extra fee now that I'm getting charged? Especially for someone that's really watching their fees. Because it's not something that's like, you know, a lot, $450 or whatever. It's not like crazy, but they're like, what is this extra fee? This wasn't on my contract when I first signed, you know?
And that's it.
And that's it.
You have to keep.
$500, you
Yeah.
know, when you're bringing in money to close and closing costs and all the things, you know, so I get it. So just try to remember that when you write contracts. Same thing with listing. So when you do a listing contract, right on the front of your listing contract, there's another term section, listing or seller to pay transaction coordinator fee of $500. And then it's on the listing contract from the very beginning, and they can't say it wasn't part of, you know, all their commissions on there, everything's on there. So this is part of it, just like Manny said. Yeah, it's on the other, like other terms.
It's like on the first page.
It's on the very first page, right below like the price and everything, right there you can add it in. Yeah, it gives you a little space to add it in. The only other thing here I just want to show real quick is inside referral or outside referral. So if you guys get a referral from an agent and they say, I want 25%, I give you this buyer and I want 25%, that information would go there. And you have to get a referral agreement signed from that agent. My advice to you guys on referrals, it's awesome, like great way to build business with other people, with other agents that are in other areas. And you know, you pay them 25%, but you're still getting a transaction, you know? But make sure you guys get that referral agreement signed, like at the beginning. There's no discrepancy of what people's commissions are, because all of a sudden it's like, well, I wanted 40%. No, we talked about 25%, but you don't have an agreement, like you're gonna have a hard time. So referral agreements in your zip forms, in your car forms, and each brokerage signs it. I can sign them as the office person here, and then you're good to go.
And don't give the lead information until the referral agreement is signed.
Yes.
You don't give the lead info.
Don't give them, so if you're referring to someone, don't give that agent all their information, because now they can just go reach out to that person and never sign your referral agreement and ghost you. Yeah, yes, very true.
What is the most common percentage that someone would charge another agent?
Referral, 25.
That's
25 to 30. I saw one that was 40 that just came in through here, and I was like, 40? Oh, but yeah, because the agent did so much work. I was like so mad. She had to give all this money over 40%. But you know, it was a deal, and she looked at it as, you know, it's okay. I got something, you know, but she still worked pretty hard on that transaction to give away almost half.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and her splits, you know, there's a lot else on top of it, you know. So that's where that goes, okay? Do you guys have any questions on command? I want to just jump into, yeah, I don't think for like 30 minutes.
What is the purpose of royalties again?
Royalty goes to KW International. So because we're part of a franchise, they take a fee just to be part of KW. I don't know what it all goes towards. I mean,
Why
salaries
does it vary the
vary.
amount? Why is it always vary?
Because it's 6% off your commission. So the amount will vary, but you only pay $3,000. So if you hit your cap, most agents hit, like when you see in our office meetings, it says they hit their royalty cap, that's the 3,000 cap. They hit that one. And most people hit that first before they actually hit the actual cap. Because, you know, $500, $600 goes towards it, adds up. If you have 4 deals, like you paid it. And you don't have to pay it for the rest of the year. And if you don't close one transaction, you never pay it. You never pay E&O. Like, obviously, that's not the goal. Like, we want you to close transactions, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, you're not like, oh my gosh, I have to pay $3,000 a year to work here. Like, you don't. That gets asked sometimes. Okay. So I'm going to go over to my car. So I don't know how many of you guys have on.
Are the summaries in opportunities also, because I want to be able to track like all my sales numbers and when I know I'm getting close to like paying that 3,000.
Yeah.
Is there a summary within opportunities or is that a different section of it?
No, so it'll be like,
You're going to track your numbers and stuff.
yeah, so if you open your page, mine is such a mess because I have all these coaching things in here and then I have, let me go to home page. I think it's at the very bottom of the home page. It'll show you all your stuff,
Oh, okay.
if I remember correctly.
Or like just having that visual would help with our like goal setting. I think,
Yeah,
too.
well, and that's why, like, and so you can set like year-to-date goals in here. This is really cool to use. You can set in all the numbers in here. They had a class one time that did this, and it was really cool. But all your like, it'll kind of like put it backwards. Like, how many appointments do I need to go on to get this many transactions closed, kind of thing. So this is cool to use as well. Your GCI goal breakdown. No, it's not on the first page. Dang it. It must be. I mean, my command is not one to be proud of. That's for sure.
I'll click around and try to find it.
Whatsoever. It's so awesome. I feel like I had the time to get in here and actually use it. Let me look at opportunities and see. It might be at the bottom of opportunities. It is somewhere, Charity, though. Like, I know it's in
I've
there.
seen it somewhere too.
It's just really slow, like, to load.
I want you to spend time on that. I'll figure it out. I'll find it.
Yeah, see, it breaks down all your like ratios, like how many listings. So this is kind of it. So like however many opportunities you have created in here, it'll say like with your buyers, how much is your probable or potential income based off what you put in here. So it'll give you like numbers. So say you're working with 5 buyers and they're 2% at 500 each, it's gonna tell you like this is your potential income based off that. It's not gonna be 100% accurate until you actually update it. But the commissions part, that's like it's in the actual opportunities where it shows your cap breakdown.
Okay.
That's why I wanna put Gabe's like stuff in there so that's more accurate for you guys. Because then if not everything's in there, it's not gonna be as accurate. Like E&O insurance doesn't matter, it's all the commissions that matter. So yeah, but we can look for it. It won't be out, and I'm probably not gonna remember my password this year.
And now we know to get close to cap something. Are
Right.
you capping anything yet? They get close?
I know, I was so close, but yet so far.
Did yours reset?
Yeah, I reset this year, February.
That's what someone said, that usually it takes 12 months to
Yeah.
do it, and then you only get 1 month to, you're 100%.
Well, and sometimes, like, I've seen agents too where they're like, I gotta close this one this month because it's gonna reset, and so, like, they wanna close and at least have one transaction where they get the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
So they've been like, okay, this escrow is like, hurry up, you know, or
How do you know
whatever.
when it begins?
It's always your anniversary date, everyone's is different.
Oh, can you ever say, this isn't, might not even be a Jacqueline question right now, but if you wanted to renegotiate your split and you don't care about capping, like maybe you're doing enough business and
Oh.
you just negotiate, like I want 85-15,
You
or.
could totally, that's not a me question for sure, but yes,
Sophia.
you could totally, Sophia, that's a Sophia question, for sure, yes.
5:15.
Okay, so I just wanna show you guys a couple things, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just trying to see if there's any possibility that you can show the browser on the screen, or, you know, the little arrow. That way, so to everybody, you know, this is like my first thing.
Right, yeah.
I know absolutely. Yeah, that way I could know.
I don't have one on here. I wish I could, because I would do that, but it's the iPad doesn't have I can't explain it anything, a cursor. They need to be able to hook my computer up so I can like point to things, but I can't on here, unfortunately. But this system is your zip forms. So command that we were just in is like where we put all of our database. We do all of our smart plans. It's the Keller Williams system. This is CAR, California Association of Realtors, and this is where we get all of our contracts, disclosures, everything like that. So those are the two differences of systems. I have tons of like compliance stuff in here, tests and office and all kinds of stuff because I'm teaching on them all the time. But biggest thing in here, when you guys get a transaction, and I went over this with Charity earlier, and it will help you guys when you first start. When you go to transactions right here, let me hit it on here. So transactions. So I'm in all my transactions, and then I have all these different ones. You can filter them different. So some agents do them like this, and some have them blocked. You can do whatever you want. It's these little arrows right here on the side that can change how you look at it. So whatever's easier for your brain to do. I like the big old blocks because I just do.
And then you can put the picture of the house.
You can put the picture of the house in there. I just like it. It's whatever your preference is. Every agent's different. It's like 50-50 in this office, I feel like, when I go. So all these are my transactions. It's a mess in here because I have so many teaching ones. But you can have them with all your active, your pending, your closed, prospects, active, fell through. You can organize them all in here. So they're organized. I suggest you do that, especially when you close one out, like get it out of your actives. Because then what it does, it puts it in closed and it retains it for 3 years. CAR will keep it in there for you so you can go back and get all your documents. We have them all in command too, but it's just another place for you to have them. But you don't want to have all these active ones like me. These 37, these are not all active transactions, obviously. But it's a mess. So keep it organized, especially when you're first starting. But to create a new one, you're in transactions at the top and you just hit new. Oops, let me hit that. Let me show you where. New right here. And new, you can pick listing, purchase offer, lease listing. You can pick what you're gonna do. So we'll do new listing, and it's gonna ask me the information, just like command, same kind of thing. Let's just put in, I'm just gonna put myself. And then you can put in the street address. For time's sake, I'm not gonna do that. Residential, if it's residential, if it's something different, pick that. If it's a condo, if it's vacant land, commercial, industrial, manufactured, we do a lot of manufactured in here, you can pick that. Active, and then this is where you're gonna have your templates, And I'm gonna go over that probably in the next class, but how to set up templates. How many of you guys have templates set up in your zip forms? Okay, Mandy does.
I started one and I'm like, where to go?
Yeah, so templates are really helpful because like I have a residential listing template set up, and basically when I click that, when I start the transaction, it's gonna put all the forms that I put in that template drop them into my transaction. So the listing agreement, any other documents, it's already done. So I don't have to go do it for each transaction. So it just makes it easier to set it up once and then you just drop them in. Okay?
So when you have a new listing, no matter what, if you have that template, it's done for you?
Yeah, if you set it up in your templates, which is a whole other section, but you just set up all the documents in there and then it would populate to your whichever template you pick. You can have like multiple templates. So some agents get really crazy and they have like residential, manufactured home, condo, like a bunch of different ones, land. And so, I mean, they really set up all their templates and all those forms. The problem is that when you do that, you have to make sure new forms that come out need to get added to that template because those get forgotten. So you have this template you set up a year ago and then all these new forms dropped or the contract updated. Sometimes your template doesn't update. So you want to make sure your template is the newest version of the contract too. Because I've seen that happen. We've had documents come through here where I'm like, this is an old like disclosure and it's like from 2018 and I'm like, this is not the newest version. Well, that agent on the other side somehow didn't get the new version and they're like still using the old version. I'm like, we need a new version of this form. It's not accurate anymore. So just make sure when you do the templates that you'll do it that way or that you check them.
You go like the license number of Liz Ron's, like
Yeah.
the first offer?
Yeah,
She had to use the old template with someone else's license.
exactly. Yeah,
That's not my idea.
that's not your license number, yeah. So I would pick this template, if it will let me on here. I think it's not gonna let me.
Okay, so you
And
just
then
opened
save.
up in the summary, but how did you go to find your template? What'd you click on?
There was a little template button at the bottom, and then the template dropped down. It was like a drop down menu, and then I clicked that. But I don't know if it brought it in. Yeah, it did. It brought it in for me. So this is my listing template. It has my listing agreement. It has all the disclosures that would go with my listing. And it's not all of the disclosures, it's just the ones that are required on command in the listing section. But, but if you need to add forms, you just go to all forms and you can pick whichever form. There's a billion gazillion forms that you can choose from. Zillions. So that's how you add them. Okay, so like say I wanted to add, let's just add an addendum. Oh, I meant to add this one. Then it's gonna add it and then it's gonna come down at the bottom. The addendum one is added. So anything you need to add, just go to that all forms and add it there. Okay? Another thing that new agents ask a lot is, how do I get a document in here for my clients to sign, but it's not in here? So you would go to Add Doc, which is right here at the top there, and you browse and look for it, wherever it is on your computer, and it will drop it in. So that happens on listings a lot. It's right here, Add Doc. And you can always apply a template after the fact too. Like if you forgot to apply the template, you can apply one.
I'm like in the wrong screen.
What do you mean?
It all mystifies me every time.
If you do apply template, it'll go at the bottom as well? The
Yeah,
form?
it'll populate the ones that you, like say you set the listing up right away and you forgot to apply the template.
Yeah.
You can go back to apply template and do the listing and it will put all the forms in for you. Right from
I got
there.
one transaction, so where documents go?
So just click
Well, this is my test one I'm
Yeah.
doing right now.
right here. There you go. Yeah.
And this is my template, right?
Yeah, that's your listing agreement. That's just your listing agreement.
So then,
That's all you've had, I think, in your template.
like, how do I get that into that transaction we're doing?
It is in the transaction, because if you go back to the list, see your test, these are all your transactions, and then click that, and now you're in the transaction.
Yeah.
Documents here, and you're in that transaction. See how it says test right here? That's how you'll tell you're in, that's how you'll tell you're in the transaction. So always just make sure if you're doing any docs, sometimes you'll get errors if you're doing docs outside of the, yeah, can you turn that on? It's warm.
Oh, that was just me. I was
Oh my
like,
gosh.
Cozy.
That was me too, but, if you do it like from the dashboard, so like say you go from the dashboard, sometimes agents are, I think that's what happened with errors. Like if you're trying to do like new e-sign from here and sign documents from here, you can pull them from your transactions to sign, but a lot of times agents get errors, I think, with that. So my personal opinion is just go to transactions, click on the transaction you want, go to your documents, and then from here, send anything to e-sign. So like if you want to send the contract for them to e-sign, you hit e-sign and then do DocuSign or Authentisign. I prefer DocuSign. The new Authentisign, they got rid of the old one, and that since they have, this one's awful. Like in my personal opinion, I do not like it. It's very confusing to move your client's information in it, drag signatures. I would prefer DocuSign, but I know DocuSign well, so you get a free DocuSign account with KW. You might as well use it. It's so much easier to navigate than this Authentisign. Like if I said, I'm gonna send this to Authentisign to sign, it's gonna ask me what I wanna get signed. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's kind of like add a document form. So I have to pick something. I'm gonna pick my listing agreement. And then it walks through this whole thing. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it on here because it's too on the iPad. It's really hard to use an iPad. But basically you have to pick all the forms. So you add whatever documents you want to do. Signers, it's gonna ask you to pick them from the transaction, like add participants. And you can, it's just a lot more steps. DocuSign's so much easier. It just says everything there and all your client's information is already there. It's just easier.
Good forms, so easy.
Yeah, it's much easier.
Is that one free too or no?
This one is free, this Authentisign. It's part of CAR.
Oh.
Yeah. So a lot of agents have to use this because they don't have a DocuSign account. It's free for your dues. But we in our office, you pay your $70 a month, you're getting DocuSign. So you should use it. It's way better. DocuSign's cool too because you can go back and like add things. You can correct documents and stuff. It's just much easier to use. Okay, so I want to show you guys on the RPA really quick. Do you guys have any questions so far on things? I'm kind of like jumping all over the place, but there were certain things they wanted me to talk about, so I'm trying to get through.
On the coming soon form, if listed, that one will always have to be just adding your own like little side
Yes.
tabs in DocuSign, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a coming soon form that's really important for you guys to know if you're doing your listing coming soon. It's not in CAR forms. They didn't put the form in there. It's on the MLS website, and I believe it's on our Bet on KW Lakes, that website, and that has to be added. So if you create a template, a listing template, add that document into your template. Yeah.
That's for coming soon, you said, listing?
Yeah,
So
coming
is
soon.
it like the Selm form?
So the SELM is different. There's a coming soon, and then SELM is if you have to do a SELM no matter what. 'cause
Right,
you're
that's
not
just to
marketing.
like say when you're gonna start going on the
Yes.
list, right? So what is this other document?
Coming soon, it's like let me see
It's
if I
about
can find it.
21 days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's mandatory for it to be in.
So it's
I was told that.
let me see if I can get it on the MLS.
It is.
It's not in CAR forms unless your template has it.
I don't know how I got it, but I did.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the form from, the MLS website?
Yeah, the MLS website.
Yeah, I was able to upload mine.
Yeah, you can you just have to upload it. It's not like a choice. There's not a choice in the CAR forms.
Yeah, I did have a choice. That's why I'm like, I didn't get it.
That's only for coming soon though, right?
No.
I didn't fill out.
It was because Clara had told me I needed the coming soon,
Yeah.
so that's who assisted me with that, yeah. Well, she told me where to go, but I think it was through the MLS, if I remember correctly.
It is on the MLS, but it wasn't through CAR. Like you mean it was on CAR? Because
Maybe not, maybe I did upload it.
Yeah, I think.
I don't even remember. I'm like,
I did it coming soon and I didn't fill out a form.
I just know that I had to be in there and I
I probably sent it to
You
your
probably
clients.
did it.
Yeah, I probably sent it to your clients.
Now you are becoming a TC.
maybe I did have to upload
I don't
it.
know what my.
See, that's why it's worth paying those $500.
Yeah.
I would pay that.
Because I'll check that. So there's been a couple that have came through recently. So one thing I check when you have have a listing, I can't get on there, but anyways, it's on the MLS website. It's in, there's a section,
Listing distribution,
it's in
purpose, compliance, education.
compliance. It's under compliance.
Say compliance.
Yeah, it's under compliance, it'll say coming soon form.
On the MLS?
Yeah, I just don't have my login, I have no idea what my MLS login is, it's on my computer. It's just,
How to register a listing.
But that's only for strictly coming soon.
And then where do you look?
Right, I don't see it.
okay, so. Compliance right here. It's gonna be on the side tab. Then scroll down. Scroll down. Coming soon form.
Oh, by type.
Yeah,
So we can
save
download
it,
this as a PDF and save it.
and then you can add it into your card forms. Yes.
I'm still confused, I'm trying to find the website.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
How it is, she probably had it for me. No, she didn't, I had to do it.
And then I just opened it up.
If I'm being honest, I think this
Okay.
was a document that I was struggling with.
So
I couldn't
go,
figure out how to upload it, and I didn't know how.
scroll
to
down. There's a link in here.
I don't remember. Oh, me darn.
If
Claire's like,
not,
Claire showed me
well, I
this.
just go scroll
I don't
down.
remember. But I did
I don't have
it.
it in here for you. So go to car.org. So C-A-R.
Doesn't the listing agreement, I thought, it has a section there that says, because you're not gonna show it, you're
Yeah.
gonna come soon, doesn't that kind of
So
cover
you
your butt?
click, yeah, just do
But
it,
it's
just
not
do that.
coming soon.
Save that as like a tab, and then you click transactions and log in there.
It's a different thing, I just did one, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So,
I did it kind of
You're
soon
welcome, you're
already.
welcome. So this is the thing with coming soon. There is a spot in the listing agreement. I'll show you in the forms. Where is my? I'll show you in the contract. So there's a spot you can check, we're gonna not market the property, but it says an additional form is needed.
Oh.
So if you're not going to market your property, you have to, if you're taking a contract, you have 2 days to get it on the MLS. So, today, say it's today, the 11th, you have to have it, you sign the contract today, your listing date says April 11th to, October 11th, whatever, 6-month period, and you don't get it on the MLS within those 2 days, you're in violation. Unless you have these extra forms signed. So the form that you're gonna have signed is the CELM, and the CELM is gonna state when are you gonna market it on the property.
That's on card, right?
Yes. And on the listing contract, there's a little box you can check too that says, we're not gonna market it right away, but an additional form still needs to be filled out. Just because you check that box doesn't mean you can just forget the form. It's really important because if anything ever comes up, so I've had a couple come through compliance lately, where the MLS date and their listing contract date don't match. So I send it back and I say, we need a CELM on this one. Even though they didn't sign the listing, I'm like, we need this to have it in our file, because if the seller ever came back and said, I signed a listing contract on this date and you didn't market my property right away, you don't have anything laid to stand on because you should have put it on the market. It's just, nothing's a problem until it's a problem. That's what I always tell the agents, if a client went to an attorney and, we have that happen in here where they're like, I want the whole package. I want my whole disclosure package, I want all the contracts, I want everything, because I'm going to talk to an attorney about whatever. Even if it's not regarding you, it's just something that happened between them and the buyer or whatever. If something's missing, that's what attorneys look for. They look for gaps. They look for anything they can come after that we didn't do our job. So when there's a rule of 2 days, it has to be on the MLS in 2 days, period. Okay, but if you have that form signed, you're good, and you don't have to worry about it because your seller was aware you weren't gonna market the property, okay?
It's called CELM in the
CELM, S-E-L-M, yep, S-E-L-M. So I'll show it to you guys real quick. Okay, so I'll show you guys in a listing contract. Okay. So on the listing contract, I'll show you guys where you can check those boxes. And I do catch it at compliance. Constantly, we need a CELM. We need a CELM. We need a coming soon form, It's just stuff that gets missed because you're too busy trying to get the house marketed. That's your concern, right? Not dates. all the first disclosure. And then this on the listing agreement where I was talking about listing terms, you can add your TC fee here. You can add it on the RPA as well in a section just like this. Like it won't say listing terms, like the cost section. That's where you can put that in. Okay? And then commission and everything goes here. It's gonna say coming soon status. Status on impact on marketing, days on market, does not authorize broker to use coming status. So the contract automatically defaults to you're going coming soon. So you need to put does not. You need to check does not if you're not going to be coming soon. And the next part of that is the sell, where it says seller instructs broker to market the property to the public and to start marketing on the beginning date of this agreement or a different date. So if you know at the top of your contract, you put today's date, which is, it's not the date prepared. Okay. But your listing contract doesn't start until 2 weeks from now. Okay? Because you're having them sign it today. They just know in 2 weeks is when we're going to have a term doesn't start until then. So date can be today's date, and then your listing contract can be later. That's okay. Get the contract signed. They're like, I don't want to that. Just have the date, put it 2 weeks out. That's fine. And form that we can modify things. We can modify commission. We can modify dates. We can modify it all. And that's like what I do is get
Okay. Well, we are, but just like the date prepared.
no, it's fine. No, just leave it. Okay. Any other questions, guys? So they can start. No? Good? Yeah? Okay. All right. Okay, let me.
Yeah.
Ladies, stay behind for deals and meals. We're going to have, nice to see my girls in the front. Hello. How are you?
All right. Have a good deals.
You guys, so let's give Jocelyn a round of applause.
Jocelyn!